Last year, over 3,000 roguelikes and roguelites released on Steam. That's everything from multi-million-dollar mega projects to solo-developed indie game jam games. 2026 will be no different, with thousands of games vying for your attention. On this channel, we tend to focus on the unsung heroes and hidden gems of all things rogue. But what games have already captured the imaginations of gamers and got them all excited for what this year could possibly bring? Let's look at some of the most anticipated rogues set to release on Steam this year based on the cold hard science of wishlist metrics. We won't touch on everything at the top, as I trimmed away some of the survivorlikes because there's always a ton of those, and they would have taken up about half the list, and I don't know what the heck Killer Bean is, so I just left that off too. But let's start with one of the most highly anticipated roguelikes of the year, and probably one of the first ones to release, and that's Slay the Spire 2, a sequel to the influential roguelike deck builder Slay the Spire. You'll climb a mysterious, procedurally generated tower, building and refining your deck through combat encounters, relics, and decisions. It takes the original formula but adds new cards, mechanics, enemies, and evolving challenges. I, like most roguelike fans, am excited for this one. I wasn't into deck builders until I finally tried Slay the Spire to see what all the fuss was about. And I was like Frank in that one episode of Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Oh my god. I get it.
Great game and very battery efficient on the Steam Deck. With a few tweaks, it's perfect for long distance travel. But yeah, as the original made me a believer, I'm excited to see what they do with the sequel. From one established IP to another, Deep Rock Galactic Rogue Core is a roguelite spin-off of the co-op sci-fi shooter Deep Rock Galactic.
Rock and stone!
This is unusual as Deep Rock is kind of an extraction roguelike already, but whatever. It'll be interesting to see how this differentiates from the standard Deep Rock formula, as this too has procedurally generated levels and is for up to 4 players. Having said that, I am confident in Ghost Ship. They did greenlight the excellent Deep Rock Survivors, so if anyone gets the benefit of the doubt here, it's these guys. Deep Rock Galactic Rogue Core is set to release in Q2. Tears of Metal is a medieval hack-and-slash co-op roguelike. Well, it can be co-op, you can play it solo as well. It's kind of like Dynasty Warriors meets Braveheart. I'm excited for this one as well. I've got a few at the start here I'm quite excited for. Being from
just a little place I call the land of the free, the home of the brave.
Scotland!
It'll be nice to play something close to home. In a previous video, we talked about Paper Cult's last game, Blood Roots. It was a great combat puzzle game, and from the outside looking in, Tears of Metal is shaping up nicely. I managed to squeeze into the playtest a few months ago and enjoyed my time in the game. It's due to release in spring this year, and I wouldn't mind seeing a demo for this land during the Steam Next Fest. Do you remember those penny arcades as a kid where you'd slot pennies in and there was like a pusher thing and you'd want to push all the pennies to make more pennies fall out? Basically early gambling for kids. Well, Raccoin remembers, and they've developed this coin pusher arcade with roguelike deck building mechanics. You combine special coins with items to trigger powerful effects and craft synergies across the course of a run. I do find that moment when all the pennies fall really satisfying, so maybe that in a roguelike form will speak to me. I think between slot machines and dice and cards, we're just making our way around every sort of casino game, and I guess it makes sense. There's a lot of luck and skill required in those. This is a developer's first game, so I'm excited to see how it goes and how it comes along. This launches in the first quarter of 2026. But do you know what isn't gambling? That's right, liking and subscribing for all of our roguelike, roguelite, and indie game videos that we put out on the channel. So consider doing that now, just before we start talking about Wanderburg. From developers Randwork, who you may be familiar with from the destruction builder puzzler game Abris, comes Wanderburg. One of my personal most anticipated games of the year, where you control a castle on wheels, hoovering up resources and battling other mobile fortresses. It's definitely got a bit of a quirky Ghibli feel about it. It reminds me a little bit of Besiege. Randwork and Abris were the first ever devs to reach out to me during my streamer days, and so I have a special place in my cold dark heart for these wonderful devs. We don't have a exact release window for Wanderburg right now, but expect it sometime this year. Returning to our established IPs, but we'll be quick with this one, it's Enter the Gungeon 2. We don't really know much about the sequel. So far all we have is the CGI trailer, which is I'm not really feeling this art style compared to the original. The original, if you're not familiar, was a bullet hell dungeon crawler where a lot of the enemies were bullets and guns, and they had shooting themes essentially. We don't really know much about this one. All we really have is this trailer to go by, and I don't think it's a very good trailer. So let's see if more comes out about this. I'm sure it'll be coming out later in the year. Yeah, not much more to say. Everything is Crab, the Animal Evolution Roguelite, is a game which kind of reminds me of Spore. It's a quirky roguelite where you evolve creatures. You start as some sort of weak amoeba organism thing and choose up to 100 evolutions from limbs, claws, and abilities to adapt and survive and defeat predators. All while dealing with the unpredictable forces of nature and natural selection. This is an unusual one. It's interesting, it's different. I like anything which plays with the standard formula of a roguelike of just level up and get numbers. This looks like every playthrough will at least have good variation to it. This one comes out in May, and there's a demo ready for the Steam Next Fest, which is out right now. So if it looks like your jam, check it out. Next up is Tenjutsu, which is from one of the designers of Dead Cells. This dropped with a stylish trailer quite a while ago, and we haven't really heard anything since. Deep Night Games, who this lead designer is a part of, came out with a game called Nuclear Blast, which I'm not super familiar with. But in this one, it's a roguelike action title blending combat, deep progression, and tactical run-based gameplay. You're fighting through the crime syndicates of Secret Garden City, choosing paths and which areas of the city that you're fighting through. It's cool. It looks like a sort of like beat 'em up style action game. I'm not too sure how the upgrades are gonna work. We don't really have too much to go by to start with here. All we know is it looks kind of swish, and the animation in the trailer is very cool. This will be sometime this year. It doesn't feel like it's going to be in the first quarter, maybe not even the second quarter. Look for this later in the year. Warhammer Survivors. Coming from the devs who made the excellent Warhammer 40k bolt gun, which was a retro-style FPS, they're working with Ponkel, the developer of Vampire Survivors, to make this Warhammer Survivors. If you're familiar with Vampire Survivors, I think you know what to expect. If you're familiar with Warhammer, I think you know what to expect. It seems like pretty much a reskin of the standard Vampire Survivors template, but with all manner of things Warhammer, both from the 40k universe, but also the Age of Sigmar universe, if either of those are your particular flavor of Warhammer. I'm a Warhammer nerd, but I'm not a big Vampire Survivors fan. Sorry, I enjoyed it initially, but I feel like Survivors have been done to death a little bit, and I'll probably end up playing this at some point, but I'm not rushing out to get it. But if this is your jam, if these two worlds combined is something for you, check it out. Don't know when it's coming out. All we know is it's coming out this year on Steam. I'm sure we'll know more soon. Okay, now for something in the survival-like realm, which is more of my speed, we have the Magus Circle. The unique selling point here is that you draw your spells on screen. So you have different sigils that you need to draw for different spells. It is that survivor-like template, but when there's unique and interesting mechanics layered on top of that, I think that's when these games work best. And this does look really cool. You can see from on screen, different lines or signs that you draw have different effects, different spells, and you progress across the levels like that. The art style is really nice. It's a pretty looking game. I don't know much more you can say about it just now. We don't have a demo, we don't have a release date. It will be sometime later this year, but yeah, it looks pretty cool. Not only do you draw the spells, it looks like you can also, it's also like where you sort of place them on the screen as well. It's a neat adjustment on the survivor-like genre. So deck building roguelikes come in all shapes and sizes, and Shroom and Gloom has added a new shape and size in the form of a first-person roguelike deck building game. Here you have two decks, one for combat, one for exploration, and you battle through a mysterious mushroom-infested dungeon and unlock powerful cards to combine with the cards that you already have. This team does have another game up their sleeve. Was it Teenage Blob? So I'm looking forward to this one. This is such a weird combination of first-person deck building and these great visuals. It's going to be interesting to see how it all blends together. From the game development wing of J.J. Abrams' Bad Robot production company comes 4Loot. From some of the developers behind Left 4 Dead, this is combining 4-player co-op action into a roguelike shooter set in a sci-fi world around an alien invasion that has destroyed most of humanity. I don't have too much to say about this one beyond that. We don't have a release date. It's set to come out this year. It reminds me a little bit of XCOM, but in a first-person shooter. Hopefully you can play it solo as well, because I never get too into these co-op roguelike games. Any game where I have to try and corral a few of my friends to play it with me, it never really works out. Hey, but if you want to play this game and you need a fourth, let me know. I might be game. But yeah, this one comes out sometime this year. Who knows? Okay, here's something a little bit different. We have Fleapit, which is kind of like Crypt of the Necrodancer meets a roguelike. Yes, this is a dungeon crawling rhythm hack and slash game, which also apparently has dating elements. It's quite cursed in places. It also looks quite horny. Don't be playing this when you've got family members around who might walk in on you. Here you're fighting through the pixelated circles of hell. We don't have a firm release date for this one, but it does have a demo up right now for Steam Next Fest, so it can't be too far away. Do check it out if you like these sorts of combinations of games. Next we have Demon Bluff. Keeping with the themes of hell, Demon Bluff is a social deduction roguelike card game where players gather villagers, intercept clues, some of which are lies, and uncover hidden demons and minions through logical deduction and deck progression. Essentially, this is a game that will lie to you, and you have to figure out who's lying in the game and see through their bluff. Yami Games, the developer, this is their first game, and it's an interesting looking roguelike. It's got nice theming, good visuals, and a different style of roguelike than anything I can think of out there in the genre. For a while their social deduction games were really like the hotness, so maybe I hope that this game isn't a little bit late to that party, but as a solo experience, maybe it's just right. It looks really cool. Check it out. We don't have a release date. It is coming out on Steam sometime this year, though there is a playtest that you can apply to join right now on their Steam page. Okay, this one looks pretty cool. TerraTech Legion is a bullet heaven builder, quote unquote. Essentially, instead of a roguelike where you just get buffs, upgrades, and weapons, here you get pieces of this big machine that you're driving around to run over enemies and shoot them and destroy them and beat them all. Once again, as I mentioned earlier, it's a cool way to spin the survivor-like genre, the bullet heaven genre, into something a little bit different. It looks really cool. It's also the same reasons that drew me towards Granvir. If you played that, it's a similar sort of idea. It's a mech game where instead of just getting blind upgrades, you get pieces for your mech and you swap them in and out. Here though, it looks like you're just kind of adding on to your main machine. It looks really cool. It's got a nice little art style. I quite like the look of this one. It takes a lot to get me interested in a survival-like slash bullet heaven game, and this has done enough to get me interested. So yeah, do check it out. It does have a demo as part of Steam Next Fest, which is out right now, and its release date is currently set for this year, so maybe expect it first half of this year if we already have a demo, but who knows these days. But it looks pretty well formed from the videos that we have on screen, so yeah, check it out. Do you remember Sifu? This was a martial arts Souls-like game where every time you died, time would advance, and so your character would slowly get older and older over the course of the game until you're trying to beat the final boss as an old man, and it just gets harder the weaker that you get. That concept is alive and well here in our next game, Erosion. Erosion is a roguelike, but it seems like it's got a lot more story baked into it. Here, every time you die, time in the world advances by 10 years. So the world around you starts to decay, characters get older, and at the end of the day, your main mission here is to rescue your daughter, who's been kidnapped. So every time that you fail, she gets a little bit older. She's been a little bit longer in captivity. There's some brutal emotional stakes for this roguelike, and looks really cool. It's got this hub world as well, which you can drive around, which grows alongside you, which develops alongside you, which changes as you progress through the game and die and take longer and longer to reach that final goal. I wonder if it's going to be like Interstellar and you're going to get to the end and your daughter will be an old woman and you will not have aged a day. Once again, we don't have a release date, but we do have a release window. It's currently got a release window of Q2 for this year. And there is a playtest that you can sign up for right now on Steam. So do check it out if all that sounds like interest to you. I really like games which take that roguelike concept and weave a narrative around it that build it into the story without things getting too silly. And this looks really cool. 13Z, the Zodiac Trials, is a 3D action roguelike hack and slash that is inspired by Eastern mythology. You battle through a shifting realm of deadly trials as animal spirits striving to become the 13th Zodiac Guardian. Whatever that means. But you can play this in solo or in co-op, develop powerful builds. It looks like it's got some really cool AoE attacks. It's got a really nice visual flair about it. The demo is live right now for Steam Next Fest, so if it does look like your cup of tea, you can play it right now. Developer Mixed Realms. It looks like they've either published or developed a bunch of VR games before. This looks like it might be their first foray into the roguelike genre. If I'm wrong, do let me know. It looks cool. Yeah, I like it. It's got a bit of the Black Myth Wukong about it. That's really my main touch point for Eastern mythology. But if all of that sounds like your jam, do check it out. I also really like enemies which are like the size of mountains in games like this. It looks really cool. It always gets me really excited to go fight them. This one, once again, don't have a release date, but there is a demo for it out on Steam right now. Cinderia. This is one that I've actually got my hands on because the developers reached out to me recently. I'm not allowed to show you any of my stuff from playing it, but it's a cool roguelite action game with different combo systems, lots of skills. It's got this erosion mechanic where the more benefits you take, the closer you get to getting a curse. But it's nice to have like something pushing you back slightly and for you to overcome. You have a lot of different moves that you can combo into each other. I've played quite a few runs and never had a similar experience across them. There's different characters to play as. The art style is really nice. I found a combo on the second character which was absolutely broken and loved it, but it still wasn't enough to defeat the final boss. So yeah, this is a cool game. It's a dark fantasy world. It does have a release date. We're looking at the 30th of March for it hitting early access on PC. No complaints from it from me at this point. I've been enjoying it. I played a lot of this game already. Next we have Gambonanza. Hope I'm saying that right. Which is a chess-based roguelike. The number of chess-based roguelikes there are, I really need to make a video on this because I would like to explore all of them. They're always a good time. They're always interesting. I've gotten into a little bit of a chess kick recently. If that's something that you'd like to see, do let me know. But back to Gambonanza. From the developers of previous games Overwhelmed and Sunstone War, the latter being a tower defense game. Here you have a scaled down chessboard, a number of pieces, and going against different pieces in turn-based traditional chess-like style. But yeah, you have gambits which affect how your pieces interact with the world, how you interact with the game, and allows you to break the rules of chess to your own devices. Yeah, as I mentioned, I do like these chess-style games. It is cool taking something that's so familiar and so universal as chess and just giving it a spin and seeing what you can do to break it, change it, and make it something new. Always excited for these games. We don't have a release date for this one as well. We do know it's going to release this year, and there is already a demo up for Steam Next Fest. So if you do want to check it out, you can do right now. From Big Frog Studios, that's Frog with 2 G's, as I found out while researching this game, comes Wizard Cats. This is a sort of in the Noita Magicraft vein where you craft spells. I believe that as you create them, you retain them across the run and between runs, maybe? I'm not too sure about that. Don't listen to me there. You fight frogs, which is cool. I like frogs. And it looks like the main thrust of this game is that you can create wild combos. Not only are you playing as a cute, dumpy cat, it's a very colourful, very visually appealing world. There's a demo up right now, once again, for Steam Next Fest, and it says it's coming soon. We don't know when it's coming out in 2026, but if we've got a demo for Steam Next Fest, I don't think the game can be too far away. It looks really cute, it looks really cool. Anything which allows you to make the spells in a similar way to Noita, but in a way which my brain can comprehend a little bit better, because Noita hurts my head. I appreciate. And this one looks cute. Yeah, check it out. And finally, a game set in a franchise which is very close to my heart, Battlestar Galactica Scattered Hopes. I kept reading that as Shattered Hopes. I think a lot of people are going to make that mistake, but no, the hopes are scattered, not shattered. This is a story-rich tactical roguelite where you defend against incoming waves of Cylons, and in between these rounds of combat against the robot foes, you have interactions with your crew, you manage disagreements between the ships in your fleet, and you work together to prepare for the next set of attacks. All of this as you struggle towards reaching the Galactica and teaming up with that iconic vessel. I love Battlestar Galactica. I started to rewatch the original 1978 one recently. I love the 2003 series. It's just such a cool world, so obviously inspired by Star Wars, but I love that constant back and forth between humanity and the Toasters. Check this fracking game out by AltShift, who developed Crying Suns. If you're familiar with that game, it's in a very similar vein to Scattered Hopes, which now that I look at it on Steam, apparently I own. That must have been a Humble Bundle at some point. This one, like so many of the games that we're talking about, does have a demo available right now during Steam Next Fest. Oh, in fact, the demo released earlier this month, earlier than Steam Next Fest, as it's gearing up for a release sometime in Q1. And so that was 20 of the most highly anticipated roguelikes of 2026. Which of these roguelikes are you most excited for? I know for me, it's the Battlestar Galactica one, it's Erosion, it's Wanderburg, of course Slay the Spire 2, and Tears of Metal. Those, for me, are the ones that stand out from this list. This list is hype up and down the board and has some really great variety. It's good to see a good set of unique roguelikes, all making it to the top of people's lists for what they're looking forward to this year. On screen you'll see some videos covering roguelikes from previous years who went underappreciated, are just sort of hidden gems. Do check those out. Do join us back here for coverage of a lot of these games throughout the year, for the Next Fest demos in the next few days, and for everything else, indie gaming and roguelikes, we've got it all. Thank you for the delicious gift of your time for this video. Thank you for making it to the end, and I'll catch you next time. Bye!